Hey guys, welcome back to Garage Dads. I'm your host, James Peach Walker. On today's episode, we have Cody Jamison. Cody tells us his stories about raising his sons, coaching, and being a small business owner. So kick back, grab a drink, and enjoy our chat about his experiences of fatherhood. Welcome to Garage Dads. We got our next guest on here, Cody Jamison. How are you, brother?
I'm good shape, pal.
Good to see you. Could finally get you on here. We've had a hard time getting our schedules to link up, but by God, we're on here now.
No, locked in.
We're here. Thanks for making the big trip all the way down here. So the way we like to start this off is we just like to ask, just kind of give us a background, family dynamic, how everything is at your house.
I got you. All right, we got Mama Bear. We got Mama Bear. That's Lexi Jameson, my wife. Beautiful lady. She puts up with me. Then I got three boys. I was blessed with three boys because I think the man upstairs he knows I couldn't handle a girl.
Yeah, you weren't ready for girls. Yeah,
there's no way. But my oldest Alex, he's a real go-getter. And then I got an 8-year-old, Mr. Zeke, and then
gotta be a Buckeyes fan with that name.
We had him in 2016.
Yeah.
After the national championship. And believe it or not, there was almost another Ezekiel in the family at one time. Lexi's brother, Mac Keir, was almost Ezekiel Keir. At least that's the story she gave me.
That's how you convince her. Like, we have to name him.
Like, oh yeah, that's perfect now, yeah.
It's a great name.
Yeah. And then last but not least, Mr. Fat Baby, Huxley. Mr. Huxley Isaiah.
You call him anything short, or is it always Huxley?
Hugs.
I didn't know.
Most of the time it's Fat Baby. And he's to the point where he's lost all his baby fat. So he's not really fat anymore.
He's going to get to the point where he doesn't like that.
Yeah. Yeah. He don't speak the greatest yet either. So he's like, I'm not sad. I'm not sad.
I'm not sad.
I'm not sore. I'm solid.
Yeah. And what's their ages?
11, 8, and 5.
11, 8, and 5.
Yeah. I was in March. Mr. Zeke, he's a Memorial Day baby. He's Memorial Day weekend baby. He came Sunday morning.
Hey.
And then Mr. Fat Baby, he's a Labor Day baby. So we're just partying them two big party weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. The other one just need to be on St. Patrick's Day.
He's on the 6th.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're going to tell me something cool like, well, he is on the 16th. I'm like, well, depends on how the weekend falls. You call it that.
Right.
Good, man. And so three boys out there for you. What do you tell everybody out there what you do for a living, Cody?
I'm a self-employed concrete contractor.
But small business owners, backbone
of America, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
And what
and it's getting hard to keep on keeping on. You know what I mean? It's tough out there for the little guy.
Yeah, but definitely need them. What do you do?
All types of flat work, all of it.
Yeah, and that's concrete.
That's your sidewalks, your pole barns, your floors.
Yeah. Staying busy.
Covered plumb up.
Yeah. But there's always room for new appointments. Yeah. You got a number that they can contact Jamison Concrete at?
937-509-3733.
Call that number for all of your concrete needs. As for Cody.
Yep.
Tell him you heard on this podcast and you get a 20% discount.
We don't know about that.
So obviously, just kind of going through everything, I know your boys are very involved just in conversation we had in sports, and I know it's kind of a wider range when it comes to being like really involved in sports and just getting involved. Like my oldest will be 6 in August. She's just getting involved in sports, but I know that by 11, you're full in. Yeah. Like you're an all year round sports athlete. So how hard is that adjusting to the busy work schedule? Because I'm sure he plays a lot of sports in the spring and summer, and that's your busiest time, right?
Yeah. Especially once the ground thaws out, I'm back at it. Everybody's called all winter wanting it thrown in. So that's busy. And then fall, believe it or not, it's very busy. You get a bunch of people calling last minute like, hey, the snow's about to fly. Can you get here and do this?
Can you get in here and do this?
Right. And it just gets to be a lot. But then I've learned myself to just shut the phone off.
Yeah.
Dude, it's 5:30 on a Friday. Shut that thing off.
Yeah. Yeah, because they
screen the calls. Yeah, let it go. It'll be there Monday.
Yeah. So call them Monday through Friday.
Keep the Monday through Friday,
8 to 3.
And don't message me on Facebook.
Yeah,
like if it was a business page, it would say Jamison Concrete LLC.
Yeah.
You
Call
know?
that number. It's out. It's
Yeah,
out there. You
yeah,
want that
it's-
discount? You got to call the number.
Yeah, honestly. And then that I do know, I do zero advertising. Like none. I don't even have business cards.
Let's just say you did zero advertising.
Right.
We got it in there now.
That's right.
Yeah. So, that's definitely got to be a little tough to get to a lot of their things. You said just shut the phone off. Has there ever been a time where you've had to miss because of work? And
well, yeah, sad part about my work, I'm at my concrete's wheel, and it varies. Sometimes it sets up fast, sometimes it sets up slow, and sometimes I can't just leave it. It's my livelihood. I can't just tell these guys like, hey, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
You guys polish this up and make it look good. I know I could trust the boys to do that, but it's the principle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to be right there with them.
Yeah.
I'm a leader, not a boss. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's kind of touches on what we like. I know that it sounded like we were being sarcastic about it, but like that's the small business model that makes truly the backbone of Americans. Like, you're not just gonna be like, all right, boys, when you get this done, make sure everything's put up and cleaned up.
I self-perform right along.
Yeah,
with the boys.
But what all sports are the boys involved in so far?
So Alex, my oldest, he was real big into football. You know, and it was right around the time Hillsborough just started the K2 program.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he started in first grade and played until fourth grade. And I think they had 42 kids, 45 kids on the roster. You know what I mean? So poor Bub didn't see much time, and Bub wasn't the fastest. 8-year-old in pads. So he never saw the field much. 38 downs in 2 seasons.
That's tough.
Yeah. And it's tough for him because, they would schedule these like fifth and sixth quarters, and they would do just games for these kids. And, the A players was, like.
Yeah. They're getting to that point where it's, at that point, it's like, that's when the making fun of kids starts happening. And I'm sure that's a tough conversation to have, I'm sure, as a parent, to be there for them. And it's like, you just want to be like, I know it's tough. Like, it's brutal. And like, having to.
Oh, yeah. Believe it or not, at one point in time, I was actually short and slow. I tried out for basketball for 4 years before I finally gave up.
It took me 2, but yeah.
And then junior year, that summer, between sophomore and junior year, I just grew magically 8 inches over that summer. Like Miss Smith, you've got to know Miss Smith, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the sweetest lady ever.
She's the sweetest.
Oh my gosh. And Nathan, our boys, is awesome.
Yeah.
Nathan and Cody. Yeah, Cody. Yeah. Well, I know Nate because he also grew 8-10 inches one summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miss Smith gave me the rundown.
She was like, I know what you're going through.
This boy's about to do something great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he did.
They didn't give your mom the heads up on that.
No, we didn't do doctors. Yeah.
She was just like, if it's not broken, I'm going.
That's the reason I couldn't play football. We couldn't afford broken bones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mom cleaned toilets for a living. Yeah.
No matter how you get
her baby wasn't going to go out there and get a bone broke.
No.
Not playing no foosball.
You didn't do the water boy and sneak out and go play.
Well, no, she'd let me go out in the side yard and get hammered. You know what I mean? Just playing backyard football.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was legal. Totally fine.
So much. Right. Yeah,
But we finally would rub our pennies together. We bought pads and we'd play. We had shoulder pads out there.
Yes. Did we or you had shoulder?
The kids in the neighborhood.
Okay.
I didn't
know if it was one of those things where you're like, my mom's making me wear the shoulder pads.
No.
Oh, shoot.
I feel like we ventured a little bit away from where we was.
Dude, you steer outside of the lanes. That happens.
I'm real guilty of that.
And that's, sometimes that's just the best part about these things. So you said he's into football. Is he?
Well, no, we gave that up and we started playing baseball the next spring.
Yeah.
And he took to that so much more natural. He went out there and, he started second base his first season ever.
Yeah.
Playing out there. And then, I don't know, maybe we was just on the right team to make infield. You know what I mean? Yeah. And likewise, this is before I even started coaching. I had the mindset, I was just getting the wheels turning on the Jameson Concrete LLC. I was tying myself up pretty good. So I was watching room stands when I'd make it and whatnot. And I think there was 1 week there. Everybody, two coaches went on vacation. But yeah, I got my foot in the door and that lit a fire in me. I had to be in that dugout.
So he plays basketball. Does he play basketball?
But yeah, we played baseball in the spring and we've always played basketball. We played basketball since second grade. when we let out football season, let out that year, the coach was putting a basketball team together. I was like, hey, we like to stay busy.
We're in.
Yeah, we're gonna play some basketball with you. And it was an AAU team. Just straight to it.
Right after.
I mean, I never pieced it together until it all, came to fruition, but he was grooming them. We went up there and took licks from these inner city kids, like 64-2, like devastating. Some kids quit, like, you know what I mean? But the dogs on that team never left. Dude, yeah. The dogs never left, and we came back to the county after taking all them whippings. We came back to the county the next year and went undefeated.
Yeah. So he's giving up baseball. He just does.
No. He gave up football. We're all in on the baseball and basketball.
All in on baseball, basketball. Yeah, football.
And believe it or not, this is our first spring we didn't do AAU basketball.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, I didn't mind it. It freed up a lot of weekends.
Yeah,
it does, because we would roll that AAU right into Schaefer ball.
Yeah, just keep it in.
And then it's been nice to have a weekend.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things you don't realize as a kid. You're just like, what? Like my parents are they drive me to sports. Like that's their first job, and then their second job they go to when I'm at school.
Yeah, so I have no idea. They really do.
We have stuff, yeah, and everything gets paid for. So I don't know. I don't ask any more questions past that. Just I'm gonna steer outside of the lane here. About your boy looks like Kenny Powers with his awesome curled mullet. Does he still have it?
He just lost it there.
No.
Tail end of basketball season, he went ahead and took it off. He caught a bunch of flack, like a lot of haters.
Yeah.
I tried to explain to him, you know what I mean? Like, they wish they had that, and that's why they are the way they are.
Yeah. You getting bothered by it is just like that's what they want. And it's, I mean, as an adult now, we're just like, we've seen it from all different angles. We could have been the person getting it, the person giving it, or the person watching all this go on. But if you stop reacting and just like, I don't care, those are the worst people to pick on. Mm-hmm. And I hate that because that hair was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, he put in the work on that thing. He had a mullet for 4 years, and then one day he's like, I'm permanent. Yes. Yeah, do it. When it was fresh, man, I couldn't help but think of, the Rick James skit from Dave Chappelle.
Rick James, bitch.
That's all I could think.
That's all you could think of.
Dude looked like little white Rick James.
Dude, I see it now. And then because he's got reddish hair too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he had a fellow. So like he had another coach calling him White Snake.
Yeah, like I said, I steered us out hard because I've been wanting to ask about it because I mean, yeah, it's awesome.
It was so cool because he was also, he was team manager of the varsity, boys team. So I mean, he was rolling around surrounding counties, just packing this thing around, gymnasiums far and wide. Yeah,
you show that off.
Yes, and he did.
So what's Zeke into?
No, big Zeke. Zeke played a year of football.
Yeah, I feel like you have to with that.
Yes, Zeke played a year of football, played defensive end. He was a bigger boy, being K2. Yeah. And so he played defensive end and a little bit of guard on the offensive side. And he had a good coach. Everybody saw the field. Like this man, you know what I mean? He was able to get everybody in there, and
at that age, it's
and you almost had to keep Zeke on the line to keep him locked in. Put somebody right in front of him.
He didn't need to go looking for anybody.
Right? Yeah. Old Zeke, he's one of a kind. He dances to his own little tune, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It don't take much to get him flustered. He'll get worked up pretty good sometimes. I don't know what it is, but he's got his own little tick. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's Zeke.
Yeah.
But no, we don't do sports. He don't do sports at all. We always joked about a library card, and he still to this day he asks me, are we ever gonna go get my library card? But Zeke, we got him locked in on.
Bro, get that kid a library card.
I need to.
They're free.
We got him locked in. He's a Boy Scout now.
Yeah, so you should get him a library card. But he's into the Boy Scouts.
Big time, dude. He went one time, came home, wouldn't shut up. Like, Mom, can we go back? Like, well, yeah, dude. We went ahead and signed you up.
Yeah, that's what we were there for. It's just sign-ups.
Yeah, he's all about it. The hard part, what sucks there is, Dad's got to go on these 5-mile hikes and walk all through the woods.
Dude, you're going to be a scout dad.
Yeah. And then, bless my wife, she will pick up where I lack every time.
Yeah.
And she's been to a couple scout meetings. I don't think I've been to one yet.
Bro, you got to get to a scout meeting. Dude, you'd be a good troop leader.
I got to do better.
You're just out there teaching kids how to freaking start a fire with 2 rocks.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome that he's found his, his niche.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, one of those things is like, I feel like everybody wants their kids to play sports, but at the end of the day,
I'm not gonna force them.
that's the worst.
Yeah.
So, and whatever makes him happy, I feel like the Boy Scout thing is it. I can guarantee you, he's gonna get a lot more from being a Boy Scout than he is from playing football or playing basketball, and he hates it. He's just gonna resent everybody who made him do it. Now you guys get trapped in the forest.
Zeke's got our back.
Dude, he's got his compass. He's
Yep.
ready to go.
And what's cool about him, he's already full of, the most useless knowledge. I'll let that, but Zeke's full of it. He knows it.
Sometimes those are the best people unless they're lying all the time.
True.
But
True.
it's those people are just like, all right, I'm going to them for answers.
But yeah, Zeke can tell you who was the, leading the Ottoman Empire in 526 BC. That's the kind of YouTube videos that dude watches.
There's definitely a lot worse things to watch for sure. But that's ultimately found his niche. And what about Lil Huxley?
Dude, that dude's a dog. Like they don't teach what he has, and that dude's just hungry. Just hungry.
He's a junkyard dog.
Yeah. Like with anything, basketball, he'll go outside and shoot. Baseball, there's a hit away on the basketball hoop. He'll go out there and beat the dog shit out of that thing. You know what I mean? Knocks the tar out of it. Alex walked out and Hucky was going, and we counted 63 times Hucky was barreling that hit away. And I'm talking the 58th time, he hit it just as hard as the 5th time.
Yeah.
And Alex walks out, and the oldest Alex, right? He walks out, and he's 63. Okay, watch out. He gets up there, he's cranking him. He's hitting him pretty good. I was like, he's coming on a little too strong here to go the distance. And Manny said they call them side stitches now, the little stomach cramp you get when you're overdoing it. Yeah, there's side stitches now.
Yeah, it makes it sound like more of a medical thing now.
Awesome. Yeah, he got a side stitch at like 34.
Ooh.
You can tell who's putting in the work, right?
Yeah, I mean, that stuff is the oldest, I think.
Yeah, Hucky put up 63 and quit because he had a blister.
Blistered.
Mind you, Hucky was probably out there 20 minutes before that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's out there hitting. You don't have to tell him. He just does it.
That's just something, like you said, they don't teach.
Right. Go Hucky.
Yeah. So what all sports is he? I know he's into baseball right now.
Yeah, that dude's playing 2 leagues. He's playing Knoxville here in town. He plays for the Lynchburg Dirt Keepers.
Dude, he's a Mustang heart right now.
Maybe a baby colt. Stop it. He's an Indian. He bleeds red.
So when you're raising your kids, what would you say is the type of values? I know that just kind of hearing your story about your 3 sons, they're all a little different, and that's fine. I feel like they should be and be their own person, but what kind of core values would you say that you're teaching any of them, or what you expect from them, what you instill in them?
Right.
Yeah.
I guess it'd be hard work, integrity, accountability.
Yeah.
Lots of love. We overuse the word love.
Yeah.
And just never give up.
Yeah.
And Alex struggled with it a lot. He would just give up. I was like, no, that ain't how this works.
Yeah.
You can't.
It's gonna get tough.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely something that I'm sure has been instilled in you, and you have to get through and hit on the small business, the backbone thing. But I mean, being a business owner, I'm sure that you have to have a lot of those qualities, and you try to, you've learned them and instilling them in your kids. You think any of the boys are going to take over the family biz?
The oldest acts like he really wants to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Summertime rolls around. He'll be out there. I don't know. He'll come out, I don't know, once a week or twice a week. He'll get hard up for money, and he'll need to come out and put in a little work.
Yeah. Knowing how he can earn the money is
right. No, like I said, hopefully not. I'd like to see him go get an education. Yeah. And of course, I mean, I'm sure my dad thought that for me, but I followed right in his footsteps. But no, I'd like to see him. What if they went and got an education, came back and helped me really run it? You know what I mean? Because I'm just winging it, dude.
Yeah. Kind of thinking about having your business. I know that you did say a little bit earlier, and I know we've talked before about you being a coach. Obviously, in your profession, being a full-time head coach would be tough. But I know that you have done some helping out in whatever way you can, and I know that you're passionate about it. What is something that you enjoy the most about coaching, whether that be your own kids or helping other kids? What drives you to keep going there?
I'd say Like, what really made me last year was we had a boy on the rec league team that had never played and never hit a baseball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the season, we got the boy in there and we got him going, and just there was three coaches on the team that kind of just gave up on the poor boy. It's like, I don't know what it is. I can't get him to do it. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
pass him along and pass him along. And I just stuck with this kid and never gave up on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I love, is working with the ones that actually need it, because a lot of coaches nowadays just prey on talent, especially at the youth, this level. Like, they'll just prey on talent. Like, I want that kid on my team. Like, no, give me Savion that they never swung a bat before.
Yeah.
And let's get the boy hitting. He's out here. He paid the money. He wants to.
Yeah.
He wants to do it too. He don't want to sit in that dugout.
Yeah. It's a lot about, like, how can I organize a good team rather than how can I coach a team to be good, I think is big there. So, yeah, that's interesting, because on our last, me and Greg were talking about how, he's coached wrestling and how he helps coach his kids' teams now, and I coach track and golf, and our favorite kids it's never they were the best player on the team.
Right, it's never the ace.
And it's not, I don't want to say it's never the ace, but that's never the reason that they're your favorite kids. It's the kids that want to be out there and they want to learn and they want to grow and they listen. And sometimes kids just need a little bit of attention. So what all do you help with coaching?
Oh, I'm definitely bucket coach. Yeah, bucket coach, game changer coach.
Game changer.
Yeah, that started, with the travel ball. So I did basketball last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a learning curve. It's a lot. Well, baseball moves a little slower than basketball, so basketball can get tough to keep up with when you got little Johnny throwing up a three, and they're coming back down the court, and he steals the ball, but he dishes it off. You know what I mean? We got to give Johnny his assist.
Yeah. We
got to get homeboys 2 points.
Yeah.
We still got to give Johnny his steal. Mind you, they're bringing the ball back up the court, and Johnny done stole the damn thing again.
Bro, he ain't getting a triple-double without a coach. But
it's nice. The parents can, I film everything. The parents can go in there, clip their own clips.
Yeah.
Make their own videos. Like, I saw one mom put a highlight video together for a boy, and I was just like,
that's what I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I know that, and then you also help with baseball. You said it's a little slower, and I know that we had talked before of how our basketball was not our forte of number one sports, but you really help out. You think you help out more with baseball?
Baseball, big time, yeah.
And what's your role out there for that?
It'd just be assistant coach, bucket coach. I throw a lot in the cage, like a lot.
Those are the most important people.
Yeah, I throw a lot in the cage. I want to say for the rec ball team, I probably didn't throw to 3 kids one time. You know what I mean? It's just hot. I was ready to come out of there.
You just iced your arm that night.
Yeah, well, no, they could just tell I was getting a little worked up. I think I had to work in Oxford that day. You know what I mean? So I was in a truck 3 hours and 15 minutes. Then I had to rush home. Where's the old ass? Get up to the ball field. Yeah. You know what I mean? And deal with Johnny telling me I'm pitching it outside.
Yeah. Then you
Johnny, step into it.
You get home and your wife's like, you're like, I need some ice. Like, was work that bad? Like, no. I got throw a shoulder.
It was the 10 buckets of balls.
It was easy. This was hell. Yeah, I know that's definitely tough. But it's awesome that you can jump in and help out wherever.
And like I said, I like that role because concrete. You know what I mean? I could be tied up with it at any point in time. Yeah,
kind of being that guy that it's like you're essential to be there, but I don't want. This might sound bad. Essential to be there, but if you're not there, it's not like, hey, we can't play today.
Right. But yeah, I try to be there, but in case of emergency, that's why I can't head anything on.
Yeah,
and that if I was heading something on, man, I want to give it my 120%. You know what I mean? I don't want to half-ass nothing.
Yeah, I feel like
that would only cheat the kids.
Yeah, for the kids,
and that's why we do it.
That's why we do it. It's for the kids.
The kids.
Do you have any good coaching advice or anything you give the kids? Anything special that you tell them going out there? Because usually, I'll tell you what, the guy sitting on the bucket, it's like, hey, listen to him because he's about to give us a speech.
Right. I did the one speech. I'll give you one at the beginning of the season, and it's the chip on the shoulder speech, and I give them one before every game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I said, do you know what this is? And I go through, this is going to put a chip on your shoulder. You're going to go out here and you're going to give it your all. You're not going to quit. You're not going to give up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is going to light a fire under that. Yeah. So I'm the chip on the shoulder coach before every game. They'll come asking, hey, I need that chip on the shoulder.
I need that chip on the shoulder.
And that stems from one of my old baseball coaches.
Yeah.
Rick Wilson.
Rick.
Yeah.
Rick Wilson. He's always got some wisdom.
And that dude, I'm pretty sure, like, I came close to running through the dugout one time because he told me to. You know what I mean? Like, all right, Rick. Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man.
Yeah, I had him and Tim Bell. That was an awesome duo, dude.
Yeah.
Fire and ice.
Yeah, Tim's right here. Tim's right here.
All the time.
He's gonna calm me down.
Yep, man. He could send me to the plate against Freaking Arnold Rivera in the 9th inning, and I think I would hit a double to the gap. You know what I mean? After talking to Tim in the third base box.
He's got me.
Yes.
But I'll tell you what, though, just like you said about Rick, I mean, how old are you now? 33?
32. Yeah.
32.
Yeah.
You still remember that. And that was probably 12, you were 12 years old.
Oh, dude, some of the best memories I got is from Schaefer Park.
Yeah, and it's just like, you remember those little things, and I can guarantee you they'll be in high school, and they'll be like, hey, remember when Alex's dad used to put the chip on our shoulder every time? Like, we might need to get that back.
Yeah.
And they'll circle back.
There I am.
You're out there, and you're like, hey, I got to get in there. I got to put, honey, I'm back on the staff. I'm on staff here. Yeah, so that's definitely something that they'll remember forever. As small as that seems, just in all the coaches I've had, I'm like, it's usually the smallest things I remember. It's sadly enough, it's generally not about your head coach. It's always about the assistants and because that's who you go to, because they don't have to be as hard on you. And that's something somebody kind of put in perspective for me is like when I took on the head coaching role is just like, yeah, they're gonna go to the assistant. Who all you help out coaching baseball? You help last year?
Last year I helped Brad Heathcock, Nick Faber.
Nick Faber, he's a big golfer, pretty good one.
Yeah, Shea Scratch.
Yeah, I've heard that. Maybe even plus.
Yeah.
You ever play golf with him?
I haven't.
You should.
I haven't. I don't. Is my etiquette enough to like get out there and fall?
Probably not. But if you're out there, he's not gonna turn around.
True.
So yeah,
True.
You ever talk to him about playing?
He owes me around. Yes.
Owes you around?
He owes me around. He like where he headed he had the baseball team last year, and then he saw me. He saw me out there in the batting cages. So the field would be too wet. Not sitting in the. Come on out. We'll be in the cages. You know what I mean? He's in the cage. Cody's in the cage. Man, it'd be raining.
Cody in the cage,
and there'd be 12 kids out there swinging the bats. Yeah. So when we went 18-0. And everybody was mad. Hillsboro's little drafted team did that. I was like, no, the rainy Sundays before the season in the cage did that. Yeah. The boys did that. They put in the work to do that.
So he saw that and he was like...
Yeah, he's seen me putting in the work too. But yeah, he's like, he came up to me at the end of the season, shook my hand and told me like, I single-handedly think you throwing in the cage all summer got these boys first place.
Yeah. And he said he was going to take you on a round, huh?
He's like, I'm taking you to Stone Lick.
Bro. Not just anywhere.
Right. Stone Lick.
Dude.
My boys, I'm pretty sure he carries a social membership down there.
Yeah. Where's that at? Nick. Cody's ready to go.
Greens ain't punched now, Nick.
They ain't punched anymore.
We gotta go check that puppy.
It's time to check her out. So obviously last year was put a damper on your course. What did you do to sub out with the drought and the new Cody dad time? I know you had to take an alternate route. Do you still go golfing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love good golfing. Yeah. Majestic Springs probably has my heart.
Yeah.
I can go up there and golf good.
Yeah.
And then I can come to Hillsborough Oaks and fire a 99. It's just crazy.
So keep it under 100 and it's solid.
Right. The evolution of my golf I've came a long way, Peach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've came a long way.
Dude, you put in the work.
Yeah.
You put in the work.
Yeah, you would catch me up there on the greens in the evening.
But I see it.
Yes.
Just out there.
That's the handy part of living right down the road from the Oaks.
Yeah.
Just run up there
and I feel like that's one of those things. It's like as you get older, it's like I'm not playing softball or baseball anymore. I'm not doing pickup games at the basketball rec league.
I would so love to do that though.
Yeah, I would too.
But I just can't go out and peel a hamstring back because I've got 30 yards of concrete on in the morning.
Yeah, and it's like anything that happens, I have a livelihood.
Yeah.
That I have to take care of.
Yeah.
And it's like, even going out there anymore is like, it hurts.
Yeah.
So.
And they're like, oh, you're boss man. I'm like, no, you don't get it. Like, I self-perform alongside these guys.
Yeah.
Like, I have.
Yeah. They work with me, not for me.
Yes.
They work with me, not for me. So it's definitely nice to have that little bit of dad time, little time with the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your boys out there? You're spending your dad time at the Mill Spring and other courses.
Luckily, I'm blessed. Probably Landon Wyatt. Me and him do a pile of golfing. Blake Trueblood.
Young blood.
Yeah, old Burt Wells. I do golf with that boy. But yeah, Landon.
Yeah.
Me and Landon cut up pretty good out there. Yeah, we're pretty much a riot. Don't put us in the same card if you want us to be like lock in or nothing. You know what I mean?
Dude, yeah. So, uh, that again, kind of like I was talking about with the mom and dad time. I feel like that is a, essential thing to. Yes, would we like to do it more? Always, just like we would like to go have those, those fun nights out with our spouses always. But it's for the kids.
Yes.
Like we always say, it's for the kids. But
and like I said before, hey, 45, Hucky's.
yeah,
Hucky's 18. I mean,
yeah.
So we'll get our time, baby girl.
That's right. That's right. And I feel like that's one of those things I'm kind of in a struggle with right now because mine are just starting school, like kindergarten and preschool. I'm like, I'm so afraid for that time. Like, I don't even want to think about when they grow up.
I remember having Alex, you know what I mean? I was like, Fairfield's got really good schools. Like, oh my gosh, we should probably get up that way, get him into that good school up there and everything. But then, I came to and I was like,
you're like, I know where my roots are.
Yes.
Like I'm not going to be like Peach and roll out.
Right.
Yeah. But,
yeah, Hillsboro's the town everybody loves to hate but never leaves. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of people like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
Mm-mm.
It's
I love it here.
Home is where you make it.
I don't think I'd make it anywhere else.
So, kind of shifted gears here. I know we've told a lot of stories about, your kids and being a dad and how, being a small business owner, being seasonally based. Is that a fair way to put it?
Yeah, you
guys are like the King's Island of small businesses.
Mm-hmm.
You're only open in the summer.
Yeah,
and you've extended out to spring and fall. But
right, I will say like this winter was brutal. This winter was pretty brutal. Ground actually froze up for a good little while.
Yeah, it was a while there. It's the worst winter we've had in a while.
Right. Well, it's been pretty mild the other winters. Like it's been, I want to say 8-10 years before it really locked up.
Yeah.
Like it did like this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Farmer's Almanac has been calling for this, right. And it finally happened.
Yeah. The boys were like, I'm hungry. I was like, I get it. But just keep drinking water. It only takes 3 days to dehydrate, 28 to start. Yep. Trust me, boys. We'll be back at it.
Put that on a t-shirt. David Goggins probably already has.
We will get back to it.
Yeah.
And honestly, I love it because we hit it so dang hard. You know what I mean? I love to just loaf, man. Especially because, you know what I mean? Especially in the spring and fall, man. We'll be out there 12, 14 hours a day. Not so much in the summer because concrete sits right up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It comes out of the truck and it's like, ding, done.
Done, yeah.
Yeah. And, the concrete ain't what it used to be either. It's a lot different than it was when I first started 16 years ago.
Yeah. Damn, it's a long time to be in the concrete game, huh?
Yeah, graduated 17 years old, and I was welding.
Yeah,
I was welding. They actually hired me before I was 18, and they laid me off that October. And I walked across the street to the office my dad actually worked for, and I was like, yeah, I'll take a job.
Take a job, whatever you want me to do.
So I followed Dad around grading. He ran the dozer, and I ran the roller and check grade, and I'd get out to come along, knock the gravel down on the edge of the boards, and that's where it all started. He tried to make me an operator, but I didn't like it. I was like, them guys are, you know what I mean?
Them guys are lazy.
He's like, well, yeah. And I just, you know what I mean? I was watching that pour out concrete. I was like, man, that kind of looks fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like, no, Cody, don't look at them boys. You know what I mean? Don't look at them boys.
Look at them boys. They're bad for you.
Yeah. Don't go messing them concrete finishers, Cody. They're bad for you. And I was like, fuck you. Who poured this shit?
Yeah. All right, Cody. A couple more questions for you. Just kind of tuning back, and thanks for sharing all your stories about, the dad life and, the struggles
of course
of being a small business owner, the backbone of America. I'm gonna keep nailing that one home. Just thinking, I'm sure it's been difficult with the balance and being a little bit younger, having kids and starting a business. I think is probably hectic too. But just before you had kids, if you could go back to yourself and give yourself a piece of advice about becoming a father and like being able to see into the future, what piece of advice would you give yourself, do you think?
Slow down, Dad. Don't get so worked up and live in the moment.
That's solid. That's all I can say about that, because it's literally just, I mean, we were just talking about earlier about what I'm going through with, like, my kids are 6 months, 4 years old, and a 5.5 year old. And I'm just like, please let everything slow down. And it's like, I have so much going on, like, working at the school, coaching, working, some at the golf course, trying to do a podcast, trying to be a dad, trying to, go to all my kids' stuff. It's just like, this is not going to be forever.
Right.
What do you think made you realize, like, it's time to, like, pump the brakes on all this and be more present?
Well, it's society in general. You know what I mean? Society ourselves, we've kind of made this go, 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 go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's society nowadays. Yeah. We're all, how often are you home?
Very little.
You know what I mean? It's what, you got in, 7:30 this evening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Left at 6:45.
I got in from work 5:30. Hucky's got ball practice 6:30 over here in Lynchburg.
Yeah.
I had enough time to wash my ass and get
Well, we're in God's country.
Get over here, yeah, and get over here to practice. You know what I mean? We've made it so hard on ourselves. That's society nowadays. We have to be moving this fast to keep up.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it's definitely important to embrace, the moments, kind of like just what we were talking about earlier with the husband and the wife, like slowing things down and like taking that time for yourself and like taking that time to be present in the moment and not rushing things and not, always having to have something to do. I think that's definitely a powerful one when you're raising your boys, and just maybe based off the way you were raised, or maybe something you've learned in life, you know, and working in, not only being a small business owner. Yeah. But what would you, I mean, what you do is not for everybody. It ain't easy.
No.
What do you hope to leave for your kids? What would you like for them to say about you, your kids and your grandkids, to say about my dad and my papa?
I like to think the boys would say, Dad was always there. He might have been late, but most of the time he was always there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was probably showed up in grungy, dirty work clothes, but the dude showed up. You know what I mean? I didn't always have that with my dad. He worked out on the road. I probably seen the man 8 times out of the year, maybe. He would come in a weekend at a time. So I'd see him 3 days, an extra day around Memorial Day and July 4th. He'd get an extra day to stay around the house. But yeah, he was a road dog. He's gone all the time. So I try to be there for mine.
Yeah.
For everything. Like a musical. I'm fucking front row down there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just cheering away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big dad.
I think that's one of those things that's like,
you want to see your kids have it better than you did.
You're always wanting more for your kids than what you got. They won't forget about the times that you weren't there.
Yeah, Dad was always there.
Yeah.
What's another one? Dad was always there, and Dad never gave up.
Yeah.
Dad always showed up. Dad never gave up.
Yeah, I feel like that's the thing that you really notice as a kid. One, like I said, they were always there, and they always believed in you and never gave up.
Right, and never went without. I'd like to think the kids never went without anything they didn't. Almost want or need, because, dude, when it comes to that baseball stuff, you know what I mean? I'm like, I think they was running a discount on the Hype Fire if you guys wanted to buy it or something.
If that's what you want.
Yeah. You said the Hype Fire?
Yeah.
That's awful expensive bat. You know what I mean? Nah, I think Santa Claus dropped off $850 worth of bats this year.
Yeah. And that's,
so
that's something,
I never got that. I think the most we ever paid for a bat for me was $80. You know what I mean? And that when we was kids, they were still $300 bats.
Yeah, I didn't realize people bought bats until I got into high school and Pony League, and when you could use the bigger barrels, I'm like, oh, I thought everybody just got them from Schaefer Park.
Right.
I thought everybody used their friends'
and helmets. God, we all wore one helmet for those days.
Yeah,
we all wore.
Yep. Yeah. And it's definitely one of those things that you don't realize how important it is until sometimes you get older and you're just like, I was always taken care of. I was always had what I needed. I was always supported. I was always loved. My parents, I don't remember going to anything that they weren't there for. But by God, if they weren't, I would probably never forget that. And talking to people who are like, never have any of that support, or it's just like, well, can you drop me off because my dad's at home or my dad's, and it's just like, yeah, of course, like I will. But the worst feeling, just kind of going back to, coaching example for me, was I had a kid who, on one of my teams, who his parents never came to any of the events or anything, and he was really good at another sport. And I said, how has your mom or dad ever come to watch you play golf? And he said, no, never. They've never came to watch me. And I said, well, how many baseball games has your dad missed? And he goes, I don't think my dad's ever missed a practice. And I'm just like, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I get it. You're more passionate about one or the other.
Well, who ain't passionate about baseball?
Brother.
No offense, but still, dude, you got to come with that same energy for your boy at the golf meets, golf tournaments.
And it's just like, me right now, dude, I'm freaking there at gymnastics every Monday night. Yeah. I mean, I'll do what I can, and I'm trying to do the hair and everything, but it's just like, I want to do that. And I feel like I didn't do a lot of other things outside of sports. So maybe that would have been me if I would have, if we'd had bowling, maybe my dad would have never came to that. Or, I did do the musical stuff when I did drama when I was a freshman and sophomore. And
I absolutely love drama.
Dude, it was the best thing ever. So going on to our last question of the Garage Dad podcast, and we definitely want to thank you for coming on and sharing your stories, and it's been awesome having you. But who would you say would be your dad role model? Who did you look to for advice? I know early on, for me, early on as a dad, it was there would be a lot of times where I'm like, I'm lost. I don't know who to go to, and have to find that person. Who was that person for you?
Dude, the person that would always have the right words for me was probably my cousin Slim Levins. Yep. He just, I don't know, the man knew what to tell me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could be so worked up, you know what I mean? And then Slim could just have these words.
Just bring it back down.
Just like, hey.
Yeah.
Slim, you're right. You know what I mean? I don't even know I was talking like that, man.
Yeah. That's not even worth getting worked up for.
Yeah, I've been through a lot, and Slim's always had my back.
Yeah. It's good to have those people in your life.
Yeah, old cousin Slimmy.
So what kind of advice just did he give you? Whether that, I mean, I guess it didn't have to be in the beginning of being a dad. It could have been now. I mean, because your kids are in different phases of life, and I don't know how old his kids are, but
Well, they're right about the same age.
Same age.
Yeah, he's got a boy 1 year older than my oldest.
Yeah, and I think that it's good to have. You learn a lot in life even before you become a parent. Like, I waited until I was older, and I think I have a little bit of wisdom. I'm just got a couple little scouts running around. You're on the back nine of the course.
Yeah, Slim's always going to give you that the homeboy advice. You know what I mean? But then he's going to give you that non-bias. You know what I mean? But if I wasn't your homeboy, here's how I'd look at it too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's nice to have those people for perspective. It's definitely been fun having you on. Thank you for sharing your story and telling about your boys. I know we're at different stages, but we're definitely relatable. It's always a great time hearing what the different things you have to say, whether it's talking about your kids or talking about golf and everything in between, and
taking them boys on a 38-2 season.
Yeah, I mean, you just do it all, brother. It's magical.
Yeah,
it's great to see that you can, as busy as you are, you can still be present and still do what you do, and how many hours you put in. Because I mean, you're putting in 12, 15-hour days, I'm sure, in the summertime.
Yeah,
but you still are there.
Thankfully, being self-employed, I can make my schedule kind of work. You know what I mean?
That's a special thing, but you still have to be able to do it.
Yes.
And that's great that you are able to, and I'm sure at some point your boys are going to realize the sacrifices that you've had to make, or whether that's financial or
when we're out there coaching the grandkids.
Yeah, when you're out there and they're getting mad at their kids, and you're just like, hey, bud, it's all right.
Yeah.
So it's definitely been awesome to hear those stories, and we just thank you for sharing them. I really do, and I'm so glad that you were able to come on, and yeah, you're one of my favorite people. And I tell people, like, he's one of the funniest people I know, and they're like, what's so funny about him? I'm like, well, he's just funny.
Dude, you got to get to know him.
Got to get to know him. He's awesome.
You got to crack that big shell off the board.
Yeah, so I definitely wish we'd have been closer earlier in life, but I'm definitely glad that we're able at this point. And I mean, I know I've looked at you for some for some parent stuff. And I'm sure, even though you have boys and I have girls, but I'll be hitting you up probably when the teenager years come around, because you're knocking on them doors, pal.
Oh yeah,
you're knocking on them doors. But thanks for coming on. Thanks for giving up your evening, and we'll see you next time,
dude,
brother.
I'll be back, brother. We got more to cover here.
Thank you for listening to Garage Dad Podcast. We'll see you next time. Cody Jameson, Jameson Concrete LLC.
We're out.
Peace.